We go off-road racing in mud-sweaty gears today. This time round we feature highlights of the Colt Barberspan 500, second round of the SA Off-Road Championship for motor vehicles. Mixed fortunes for some of the fancy teams in the time trial, and in fact the Bertholds were out of the race. As the sun set on the horizon in the northwest province, those who were still in the race settled down for the night. Most crews would do some final checks on their vehicles to make sure that everything was right for the next day, which will cover 500 kilometers in the Delaradal-Mabatu area. Some competitors and their families could relax around the campfire in fine off-roading tradition. While others, like the crew of the SALive.com Jeep, worked through the night, also in fine off-roading tradition. The starting order for Racing Section 2 saw Bevan Bertholds and Botswana businessman Atang Makakaneni in pole position. But one thing was for certain, this order would not remain the same. In contrast to previous years, where two loops of 250 kilometers each were used, this year's Colt Barberspan 500 route comprised a single 500 kilometer long loop with a service point at the halfway mark.
A serious piece of equipment here.
This is, I think, is the best piece of equipment in off-road racing. This car won the Roof of Africa in 1999, and we also participated in the Roof of Africa last year. We didn't do very well, but I think we're a very capable team. Myself, my driver, now obviously our sponsor, Speedstick. With this car that we have, we did well on the trials yesterday. There's a lot of competition, but we did very well, especially to the fact that it's our first race on the vehicle, and we just have to take it easy, and it's a long race, and we'll finish well.
Cliff Weichholt and Johan Smalberger were quickest in the production vehicle category in their N1 4x4 Toyota Land Cruiser.
Oh, well, we're just going to try and stick with the pace. See the pace we had yesterday, because we were actually quite comfortable. We're going to try and stick with that pace and try and go through. Try not to get punctures, try not to stop. That's been our problem in the past. We had to stop too many times.
Early morning Saturday, and competitors knew they were facing a lot of water in certain areas after heavy rainfalls in the area over the last few weeks. The Speedstick Raceco was treading very carefully indeed. Back at the start, a nice crowd had gathered to see the competitors off. Weichholt and Smalberger floored the accelerator as they set off at the head of the production vehicle category on what promised to be a punishing course. Multiple off-road and rally champions Hannes Frobler and Richard Leake started 10th in the BP Nissan Hardbody, an almost standard vehicle which brought them home third overall in the Lichtenberg 400. Henry and Maurice Zermatten in their PlayStation-backed Pajero had gone as hard as possible in the time trial to avoid starting low down the field and risk getting stuck in the mud churned up by the leaders. Cliff Barker and Vic Camper in the BMW M3-powered Land Rover were contenders for overall victory, as was the Woolrich Scholthammer Pajero.
Now we've got a car that we've been allowed to, the rules are much more flexible, and we can actually compete head-to-head with the guys now.
Starting from virtually the back of the field, Woolrich and Scholthammer were forced to go hard from the start, not wanting to allow the leading vehicles to pull too much of a lead, and hoping to challenge for a top 10 position towards the end of the race. And the Nova and the young Abraham faced a similar challenge.
Well, we lost the gearbox yesterday, halfway through the seeding stage. Just got us stuck there and we had to be towed back here. And overnight we fitted a new gearbox. But now we're starting right at the back, and all I've got to do is pass 67 cars to win.
And if anybody can do it, Supervan can. He also tackled the route with gusto, setting the quickest time of all on the run to the first Marshall checkpoint. indication of just how competitive off-road racing has become in both motor vehicle categories was the fact that some hour and a half into the race, the top runners were still closely bunched together. Shamir Varayawa and Bucks Carolyn in their corn-baked Jimco had gone to the front and were leading this bunch, which included Jackie Joubert and Vickers van Deventer and Brandon Harkis and Reckard Woods. Still running at the head of the production vehicle category at this stage were Weihalt and Smalberger in the N1 4x4 Toyota Land Cruiser. But they were being hauled in by the PlayStation Pajero of Henry and Maurice Zermatten, who were in contention in Class D for slightly modified production vehicles. Up to now, they were having a trouble-free run. Further down the field, the competition between the remaining production vehicles was also desperately close, as defending champions Api Reineke and Robin Houghton in their Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser began to move up the field, here getting past the Nissan of Hein Krobler and Charles Volmerant. Not far behind were Class E leaders Jean-Pierre Joubert and Errol Hodgson in their Charlin Freight Toyota Hilux. The Dark Dog Raceco of John Weir Smith, sixth in the Special Vehicle Championship after the Lichtenberg 400, was holding a strong midfield position as we join Enzo Kuhn and Francois Jourdan in their Class D Colt. The pair started third in class and 20th overall. They were being chased hard and hauled in by another father and son combination, Shumi and Carl van Vuren from Botswana in their Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser. Woolrich and Schulthammer were on a charge in the Mitsubishi Pajero and had to contend with traffic and roads churned up by all the competitors ahead of them. Mud patches like this posed no problem for the Pajero as they passed the stranded raceco of Bevan Berthold and Atang Machakeneni. River crossings are always popular with the spectators, and they were not to be disappointed at Setlachol. At the service point, halfway through the race, Api Reineke and Robin Houghton were first on the road and first to stop for a quick check-over of the vehicle and a well-deserved break for the crew.